For sure. All right, so before we get to the Patriots and the Jets.
Back over to Green Bay at Atlanta.
Green Bay at Atlanta. I mean, Natty Ice.
I don't know. I look at this game and I see an Atlanta team which, when they play their best, are hard to beat if they're even possible to beat. When Matt Ryan comes out and he's on fire, and then you have the running game, you have the receiving game, you have the defense, you put it all together, this is a tough team to beat. They attack you in many ways. But I think the Green Bay Packers are the better team. Even though their record doesn't show it, Aaron Rodgers has been injured. They've been playing without a run game. They've sort of established their run game back after the early season-ending injury to Ryan Grant. And their defense they've been outstanding, led by Clay Matthews. Everything about this Green Bay team, in my opinion, is looking like a Super Bowl contending team. When they're healthy, I don't really think anyone in the NFC can beat them.
And I also agree with that. This is going to be a game that I really think that determines who is going to be the NFC representative of the Super Bowl this year. I believe that the winner of this game will, blow by the either Seahawks or Bears, whoever wins that, and move on to the Super Bowl. So this is a big game to watch.
Yep, definitely.
And it's at home for Atlanta, inside the dome. So weather's not going to be a factor. Which I think if it was outside, I think Green Bay would definitely have an edge. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, I believe that Atlanta has a huge advantage playing at home this year. I think they've lost once all year in their dome, so it's definitely going to be tough for them to get a win, for the Packers to stop them, and looking for a great game.
And the interesting thing, neither of these quarterbacks are, I'll say, experienced in this situation. Matt Ryan hasn't really been here before. He hasn't been the favorite in a playoff game. He had some great games at BC, but he hasn't really been in the situation where he is expected to win. Let's face it, Atlanta is expecting the Falcons to make it to the Super Bowl. They're the number one seed. They've had a great season. Top of the NFC basically the whole entire season. They're expecting them to do this. And will Matty Ice show up, and will he perform to his abilities? I know it's going to be tough against a great Green Bay defense.
If you had to pick a winner, who'd it be?
I'll go ahead and say Green Bay. I think Green Bay is the NFC Super Bowl team.
I'd have to say, in a close one, 27-24 Atlanta.
Even going with the score. This is tough. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I think they're going to be similar to the Patriots. They're not going to blow them out, but they're going to come with organized offense, organized defense, and just get the job done like they need to do. All right, moving on. Pats Colts.
Pats Jets.
Pats Jets. Sorry.
Living in the past there, Pats.
Getting used to saying it. All right, our game of the week here in Boston.
No question. It's going to be a good one.
I'm looking for this to be an outstanding game. Jets got absolutely humiliated last time they were in Foxborough, 45-3. They got manhandled on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, and coaching, special teams, you name it. I'm looking for the Jets to, make their mark, but I'm also looking for the Patriots to counterattack them and, deliver another whooping to Rex Ryan.
And there's nothing that us Patriots fans would rather see than a Rex Ryan post-game speech where he has to talk about how next year is going to sound and how he can improve on what happened this year. And that's what we're all looking to see. And truthfully, I think it's going to happen. I think the Patriots are going to have a stranglehold on the Jets, actually. I think they're going to get off to a good start. They're going to come out big. I don't think they're going to win 45-3. It's the playoffs. Nobody loses 45-3. That's regular season stuff. We're beyond that. But the Patriots this year, I really think that this is the best Patriots team that the three of us have seen in our lifetimes. We've had 3 Super Bowl champions. We had an 18-0 team who went on and lost in the Super Bowl.
Was it
18-0 and then 18-1 after. We don't need to talk about that. But this year, there's something special about this team, especially in the second half of the season. An interesting stat I saw. Their average margin of victory in the second half of the season is over 20 points.
That's absurd.
And it's not like they've played Buffalo 8 times. They've been playing some tough teams. They had Indianapolis, they had Pittsburgh, Green Bay, the Jets again. And they took a hold of every team. The only game in the second half of the season that was even a close one was the Green Bay game, which was kind of a fluke. We don't have to worry about that. Maybe see them in the Super Bowl, but that's a whole different Green Bay team. Looking at the Jets, I seriously think that the Patriots are going to take a hold of this game and win by a significant margin. I think by halftime, Patriots are going to have a 2, maybe even 3 possession lead. And I really don't think that Mark Sanchez is at the point in his career. I think he's getting there, but I don't think he's at the point where he is a good enough quarterback to lead his team back from that kind of deficit.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking for the Pats defense to capitalize on Mark Sanchez's inconsistency and really take advantage of his shaky arm and his bad shoulder. So look for there to be a lot of, big coverages on the Pats defense. And they're really the key, I think, for the Patriots to win this game is to stop the run. Because if they can stop the run, that forces Mark Sanchez to make the throws, and I don't think he's experienced to do that.
And one thing that we saw before, we saw Rex Ryan come out and said that he thinks Darrelle Revis is the best defensive player in the league. And not saying this as a Patriots fan, saying this as an NFL
football
fan.
Yeah.
He's not the best player. And against the Patriots, he is not even close to as valuable as he was against, say, the Colts guarding Reggie Wayne. The Patriots, getting rid of Randy Moss, they're a new team. They don't center around one player. You can't guard one player. Deion Branch could have 0 receptions, and the Patriots could still win by 20.
Easily. I mean, yeah, exactly. All right, so we're talking about Darrelle Revis, and now we're going to move on to Patriots defensive player Vince Wilfork. We've got some words from him coming up.
We'll be playing Jets for the 3rd time, so division team once again in the playoff. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, every game in the playoffs is tough, especially being able to play a team 3 times. It gets harder and harder and harder each time. So I don't think anything we've done the first 2 games we played them this year going to factor in this game.
A confident team, a very confident team. They just beat a very good team. They're going to be riding high. We just got to come and play.
All right, so now we're back. Let's talk about a little bit about the defense. We heard him talk, so.
The defense, they've been impressive. A lot of people in the early part of the season said this offense is here. The offense is a Patriots offense, a Bill Belichick offense, which can score points, but the defense has been shaky. And in the second half of the season, I think that we all have to agree, they've really stepped it up.
Mm-hmm. And I can't say enough about this defense from the improvement from week 1 to now. Every week they seem to be getting better and better, and it just seems that they are improving each week and forming as a squad, forming as a team, and becoming, that caliber defense that we saw in the early part of the decade, where defense was the main part of the Patriots organization, not the offense. So I really see that coming into the near future.
I think it's been incredible what Belichick's done with this defense. I mean, this is, I think, one of the youngest defenses in the league.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's come and made them one of the top defenses in the league, as Jeff was saying, improving every week.
And I've just got one thing to say before we go to a break. One concern that I have about the Patriots, they had a bye week last week. The last bye week they had during the season came out of the bye week in a trap game against the Cleveland Browns, and they were flat. They had no offense. They had no defense. Everything looked out of whack. And if they come out this week and get off to a bad start and an early deficit against the Jets, don't count the New York Jets out. If you're a Patriots fan and you're watching this saying, oh, the Pats are going to win, no big deal, we'll see Baltimore, Pittsburgh, you can't be saying that. The Jets are a scary team. They beat the Patriots week 2. Don't count this game out.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's some NFL playoff talk for you. We're going to head to break, and after break we'll have college football expert Johnny Fulton in with us. Stay tuned.
Second, one thing.
Hi, I'm Ryan Forster from YBA Sports. If you ever want to host your own sports show, now you have a chance. Young Broadcasters of America and the blog site Boston Sports U18 are teaming up to produce K-Sports New England. This program will air monthly on Comcast Sportsnet and feature celebrity interviews, fitness and nutrition tips for teens, profiles of outstanding high school athletes from around New England, and a special edition of YBA's signature talk show, Backtalk. If you want to try out to win a scholarship from YBA worth $1,000, show up at the mall at Chestnut Hill in Newton next Saturday, January 15th, between 12 and 5 p.m. If you pre-register at youngbroadcasters.com, you can even get the audition script in advance. Oh, one more thing. You have to be 14 to 18 to register, so I guess that counts me out. But wait till next year. I'm Ryan Forster from YBA Sports.
Hi, I'm Julia from YBA. For the past few years, I've been coming to the YBA training studios once a week or so. I'm so excited that now I'll be able to practice my broadcast skills with YBA Online. The new course has so much more than what we have learned at the studio. You can practice your delivery by recording a video with a simple click. You can even use a teleprompter to practice reading off that. I learned about the history of the industry and some of the greatest names in the business. You know what though? It was really a lot of fun. And there are some really funny videos, like the one of Jimmy Young doing his crazy warm-up exercises.
The next thing we want you to do is actually stretch the facial muscles in your face, which is a good place for facial muscles.
Or the one from Friends, and of course, all those crazy tongue twisters.
Betty Botter bought a bit of butter.
The butter Betty Botter bought was a bit bitter.
And made her batter bitter.
But a bit of better butter bought batter better.
So Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter, making Betty Botter's bitter batter better.
Best of all though, I can practice my writing and reading from home on my schedule. And I can get coaching from one of the many professional broadcasters on staff. YBA Online allows me to learn by doing the job of a broadcaster every day if I want to. And you will have all the tools. For now, I'm Julia reporting about YBA Online.